Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here to share a layout that I created for Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. This layout is for day number 14, and I am using my October 2019 Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit that I revisited to October 2020. I wasn't necessarily pleased with the kit. It didn't inspire me, the one that they chose for October 2020. So I just had this one sitting on the shelf, so I thought, why not use it this month instead? Now, in going along, um, doing the sketch, I initially put the photos on a single mat, and you can see that's what I'm doing here. And then I remember on looking at the sketch going, oh, I needed to use two photos individually matted. And so I'll do some recreating here in just a second. And I don't think it's not a me layout until I pull something up from the paper background. In the process somewhere, I'm going to pull something up at some point, and so that's what I've done now. So are you guys following along with Christy's Beautiful Life? I went over to the Facebook group looking at the different days in the photo album that she created for the sketch. If you land on each individual sketch, in the comments section, it will bring up all the layouts posted for that sketch. Oh my gosh, there are some talented people on the planet who are posting in this group, and it's just amazing for inspiration. And I have found myself looking at those sketches quite a bit, or the layouts created from the sketches quite a bit, going, wow, wow, where do these people come up with all of these ideas? I did follow along last year. She had done a 30 days of sketches in November, I believe it was last year, or maybe it was October. Anyway, I didn't get around to posting what I created, but I did do a lot of layouts. And I think I showed a final, maybe, I think I did. I think I shared a final reveal of everything that I created for the 30 days of sketches, but it was all Christmas sketches. I'm going to do that again, I think, this year. I don't know if I'm going to pull my own sketches or if I'm going to use one of her 30 days of sketches, her previous um, rounds doing it, because this is round 6 that we're working on now. So yeah, and I have done, I believe it was round 4. Excuse me. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was very busy to keep up with when I did it previously in the month of January. And so I'm thinking I took it a little bit slower and did those sketches over the course of a month and a half or 2 months. And so it worked out okay. And I think I might try it this year, either throughout the month of December or January, to do Christmas layouts again for sure. I was able to get 30 layouts done. Somewhere, I believe I did some doubles as well as some singles. So I got quite a few layouts, one entire year for sure. And then I still have a few photos left over that I want to scrapbook from that year that I'm going to finish off this year. I have already pulled a kit together to use throughout the month of December or January, whichever, when I do the Christmas photos. Here on the layout, you see I'm not doing the top exactly like it shows. I did it a bit differently. I'm not entirely happy with what I did here. I kind of flubbed it up a little bit, but you know, I mean, it's a done layout. So I'm not going to complain too much. And it comes out looking okay in the end, but it just doesn't match the original inspiration, and I don't like it as much. But you know, not every layout that I complete is my favorite. I think if I had done a border like that and gone down the edge of the page, it would have been just fine. Or if I had turned this layout and done it a little differently, it would be just fine. But I didn't. I left it and I kept moving forward because, you know, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? Is getting these layouts done and getting the photos into your album. Um, and so I've been working through from 2014 forward. I think from like 2010 to 2021, and I have completely done 2010 through the first portion of 2014 as far as um, layouts that I want to complete. But I go through my albums, my photo albums, because I print my photos out every year. And I don't necessarily work chronologically. They're all sorted chronologically into albums, but I don't work chronologically. And so I flip around through those photo albums to find the pictures that I want to use. And so I've been pulling photos to work with this kit from um, 2014 through 2021. Or no, say, I think I have printed out through the end of 2019 or 2020, I mean. So I've been pulling from there. I really want to get some photos uploaded and printed from this year that I want to play with and work on, but it just hasn't happened yet. Um, that's probably going to be one of my before the end of the year goals, is to get the rest of the end of 2020 and all of 2021 done and printed, and yeah, that'll be a big undertaking. Now this is an old, that first banner strip that I put down was almost like an acetate piece with a printed design on it, and it self-adhesive on one side, and so it goes down really easily. This one has an adhesive backing on it, and getting it separated to peel up was a pain in the bum, and then ensuring that everything stayed straight was a big deal. It took a while, so that's why I cut that portion out. Once it's down, it's never coming up. So the photos are of my sweet puppy Matilda, and she actually, and this is a thing that she still does. When she was tiny, she would get one of my husband's stinky, dirty socks. I know, gross, right? But she would get it and she would lay on it. She doesn't chew them. She picks them up, she carries them where she wants to, and she will lay on them. And that's where she lays. She still does that to this day. She doesn't want the clean socks. She wants the dirty socks. Um, and so, yeah, in order to keep her calm when we go someplace like to the vet or that kind of thing, or just for a ride around in the car, I will get one of his dirty t-shirts because it smells like him. And even if he's driving the car, it will still keep her calm in the back seat. So yeah, little trick there I learned. I saw it on a video, on a YouTube video. I think someone was talking about how to keep your pet calm in the car. And they're like, get a dirty t-shirt from one of the family members, and that will keep them, calm. I tried it, it worked. So maybe that's where the whole dirty sock thing came from. Maybe it's a calming mechanism for her. So here I'm going through and looking what I have. I had added, I thought 2 or 3 doilies, but it's turned into like 7 or 8 doilies because they were all stuck together that I have added into this kit. I'm putting one at the top. The original inspiration didn't call for a doily up there or, anything quite so big, and that's okay. I'm making it work to how I want it. And so using that doily up there, I think gives it a little extra pop. And that's where on the original, the title was at the top, and so will mine. My title will be right up there. And I am putting a little extra adhesive on these letter tiles. They are old. They are from Adorn It, and I've had them forever. Back in the day when I purchased a kit back in the early 2000s, when kit companies were starting out, I had purchased a kit from a scrapbook store, and um, yeah, I've had them since then. And in that whole time, they stick great to the carrier sheet, but when you peel them up, um, yeah, they don't work so great at all. They are quite, um, they pop off the page really, really easily. If you put them down on paper and then you mash really hard and get a good bond between the adhesive that's on there and the paper, I think they work out a little bit better than if you try to put them on something. Whenever, I was finding a couple of layouts that I had initially done that I had put them on, when I pulled them out or looked at them and buckled the paper in the least little bit, immediately it caused the letters to start popping off. So excuse me, I have been adding adhesive to these as I go along, especially if I have them up on something. So here you can see I've layered up some embellishments up here, and I have pulled all of these buttons, and I've gone through and I've put some crochet twine in them, but I didn't necessarily trim them all down when I tied the knots in there. I just basically, cut them off and left one string longer than the other. So I'm going through and trimming all those, and I'm going to get them all stuck down. This kit had tons of buttons, and I'm really pleased that I have been able to use so many of them. How exciting is that? You didn't really get a good look at it. I am using one of those super ginormous El Grande size rolls of foam adhesive, the Scotch brand, and I am down to the very end of that, and hope to get it used up here in a couple of days. I don't use a ton of foam adhesive, but when I do, yeah, I tend to use a lot of it on like one or two little things. I'm adding some of these hearts that I had previously punched out for whatever reason, and they had ended up in my leftover bin. And then as I was sorting my leftover bin, I put them into my color bin, which is typically how I do things. And that's where they sit until I want to use them. And so, yeah, for this layout, I've used a lot from my color bins in the pink and the black, because those are the two colors that I pulled from for this kit. So I'm loving how this layout is turning out, with the exception of that, the way the whole top cluster goes. Other than that, the rest of the layout I love, but that one just keeps me a little bit grounded and not loving it quite so much. Getting close. Well, we are at the end. My close-ups are going to be here. I appreciate you guys sticking around, and I will see y'all on the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.